Hello and welcome to everyone who has found time and the resources to join us at this hour. This is Dr. Peter Gudero welcoming you to this very important conference hosted by Nigerian teachers community. And I'm glad that this is going to happen this evening because the whole essence of it is to ensure that we do not grope in the dark and we do not use trial and error to achieve the kind of objectives that all of us are pursuing. We want good life. We also want to contribute to the upliftment of our society, not just the Nigerian society, but also the global society that we live in. Today, we talk about our common humanity, globalization. We are all part of the same global system. And so we have a role to play to ensure that we continue to promote a more peaceful and prosperous world. This evening, we are going to make our own contribution. First, by empowering you with knowledge and probably the skills you need to be able to navigate your way smoothly into the United Kingdom so that you can pick up jobs that match your abilities and gifts. And of course, use the platforms you will get in the UK to improve the quality of life available to members of your family and enhance your chances of becoming a more useful member of the larger society. So welcome on behalf of Nigerian teachers. This evening we'll see us interacting with some resource persons who have been in the teacher training space for a significant number of years and are very passionate about the work they do. We're bringing them in from the United Kingdom and also some from Nigeria to interact with you and help you with ideas that will enable you to understand clearly the opportunity the United Kingdom is providing teachers in Nigeria to access teaching jobs in the UK. As I have mentioned in some of the briefings I have done before, the fact is that not more than about 1% of Nigerian teachers who are excited about the opportunity coming may be able to access the great teaching jobs in the UK. And the reason will simply have something to do with the fact that United Kingdom is an advanced country, advanced society, and they don't joke with children who operate within the school system. And so it takes certain level of skills, knowledge, awareness, and ethical values to be able to get accepted to play roles in the UK school system. And the advantage you have participating and listening to the conversations we're going to have this evening lies in the fact that you'll be operating at the realm of knowledge and not from a position of ignorance. So every step you're going to take to make your way into the United Kingdom will be measured. It won't be a matter of, I'm just guessing. And I wish you well in advance, knowing that you will have every reason to be very grateful to all the people who are working with Nigerian teachers community to provide you this support and assistance. So welcome. The way it's going to go this evening will be first, we'll listen to some young people who have had the opportunity to study in Nigerian school system. One of them is still in Nigeria, but hoping to travel outside the country to experience education in one of the advanced countries, especially the United Kingdom. Alternatively, she may also be looking at the possibility of considering the United States of America. And so she will tell us her experience going through secondary school in Nigeria, so that will begin to help us to put things in perspective so we understand what we need to start changing as we think of migrating to the United Kingdom, because the system there is not exactly run the way we run the Nigerian school system, where rote learning has remained a major approach to delivering teaching. And learning. Effectively speaking, we can't actually call that learning because learning takes place only when people, as a result of the experience they have had interacting with teachers and other members of the education space, are able to do things in new ways, in enhanced ways, in more positive ways, in more beneficial ways, then learning has taken place. But if it's just a matter of remembering things, I bet not using those things to make a positive difference in society, certainly learning has taken place. And so we are going to be looking at those issues. And after the young person from Nigeria has spoken, we'll listen to her counterpart who also used to be in Nigeria. She finished her secondary school here and is now living in the United Kingdom and has experienced education in the United Kingdom. And she'll be giving us an idea regarding what she thinks is the difference between the way she was taught in Nigeria and the way she's being taught now. And thereafter, we hear from you, the teachers who run classrooms across all levels in Nigeria, from kindergarten to tertiary level, regarding the reasons why you want to actually migrate to the United Kingdom. And that will help our resource persons from the UK especially to put things in context and help you to understand what you need to start doing to get ready for a new way of doing the work that you have to do in the classroom when you get to the United Kingdom. Then after we have listened to you, those who have experienced kindergarten level, early childhood education, moving to primary school, we would also hear from those who have taught at junior secondary school level and then at the senior secondary school level, and talk to a Don in the university who will share ideas with us regarding her own experience teaching in one of the tertiary institutions in Nigeria. In fact, the premier one for that matter, from University of Ibadan, an associate professor of analytical and environmental chemistry, who obviously has joined us at this hour. And after we have listened to all of you, we'll now move to the United Kingdom to talk to a teacher trainer who is very experienced in the area and highly respected in the field. She will be joining us from the University of Reading, Institute of Education of the University of Reading. She will help you to understand some of the opportunities that are available in the United Kingdom for you to develop yourself as a teacher. Just in case that's the route you want to go. I will also come in from time to time to also provide further information regarding alternatives you may have to consider. If one way doesn't work for you, most people are just talking about qualified teacher status. There are also several other approaches through which you can get into the United Kingdom. We will also be hearing from a fantastic woman in the UK too, who is the Director of Education and Research of the Chartered Chartered College of Teaching in the UK. And that's the body, those of you who eventually manage to migrate to the UK will have to make a deliberate effort to associate with for the entire period you're teaching in the UK so that you can continue to develop yourself through the fantastic resources they provide. I'm happy to be superintending this entire process. As most of you already know, I'm a product of the University of Reading in the United Kingdom, where I did both a master's degree in communication for innovation and development, as well as a PhD in education. I took that from the Institute of Education of the University of Reading. And we're privileged at this hour to also have in our midst somebody who has been part of what University of Reading has been doing globally to change the world in a very positive way. So you are the next person to benefit from the fantastic work to do for teachers and for those who are aspiring to make a difference in the world we live. So having made those remarks, I would like to invite the young persons in our midst to join us now. Do I have Ayodele Orelua Ayodele? Are you here with us? If
Hello,
you
sir.
are, yeah, very good. If you are, please please on mute, and let me ask you one or two questions. So that's fine. So you are the fact that I have heard your voice means that you have unmuted. All right. So all right. Share with us regarding what you have experienced in the Nigerian school system, and what you think maybe the missing link, what you have benefited, what you think can be done to improve the system. How has that experience been for you? Do you think you got everything you were looking for to get in from the Nigerian school system? If the answer is yes, tell us why. If the answer is no, one can be improved upon. Over to you. All right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. As you said before, my name is Arolu Ayedele. I graduated from secondary schools last 2 years, and I've spent 6 years in secondary school. And so I believe that the educational system in Nigeria can be improved on, because most times the teachers teach us more about the subject than about how it relates to us in our environment. And I believe that's something that should really be improved on. Yeah. I had the opportunity of doing some courses on Coursera and Khan Academy, and there I was able to watch some videos of how they actually taught people in America, and it just felt like that interacted me more with my environment than the way they teach in Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So your emphasis is on you want the teaching to be focused more on real life, resolving real life problems rather than barely,
yes,
copying notes and writing exams and
yes,
getting certificates.
Yes,
is that the point you're making?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Exactly.
Stay on the platform. We are likely to come back to you in a jiffy. So we go to the United Kingdom now. Is Mayoress in the house with us? Mayoress Shobola.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's not long. You left you left Nigeria. You finished your secondary school here, and you also gained admission into the university, one of the top universities in Nigeria, University of Ilorin. You started, there studying mechanical engineering, but I know that your family took a decision to move you out of the country into the United Kingdom. The entire family lives in the UK now, and you are preparing, working hard to advance yourself academically. So with the experience you have had so far, can you compare what it was like being a student in Nigeria and what it is like now being a student in the United Kingdom? Any difference?
Yeah, there's some differences. Should I share my screen? Because I actually made a presentation.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so first of all, what I want to talk about is the fact that we link new ideas to familiar concepts. My chemistry teacher would always come into class and ask us, maybe she's written something on board, and she's like, what does this remind you of? Or what idea or what topic have we done before that this new idea recollects, or something like that. And also the fact that we do a lot of we talk about a lot of like a lot about applications of like the stuff we learn in class. Like for physics, we did like damping, and my teacher actually showed us a video of like the importance of damping, because in bridges, if they are not damped, they'll continue to resonate at like their natural frequencies. And I think it was quite interesting though. And I think not only just teaching, but helping us understand how these things are applied would help me recollect better, like in an examination or in a test. It would just like it would help me recollect these stuff that we've done.
That's fine. Yeah.
Also, I think one of the most important things that we're lacking in Nigeria is the fact that teachers are not really sometimes encouraging. They're not. There's always this idea that, oh, we've got one best student and that person would probably be the fame of the school, or get the results that we want, and we could just show off to parents that, oh, this is what we are achieving. But actually making sure that the whole class is actually achieving that result, I think is really important. And also like rewarding students for the efforts that they actually put into the academics. I think in Nigeria, we tend to focus on just one student who's the best, and not actually go around and appreciate other students who are trying, but might not be getting the results yet. But they are not getting the results but actually encouraging them that they can actually do it and like persevere. And a lot of like praising, like my chemistry teacher would always like, at the end of the class, she would always praise us, well done for actually sitting down through the class. And even after taking the test, she would be like, oh, well done for actually taking that test. And yeah, lastly, just being that support and encouragement for your students, really. And I think on a personal level, can your students really communicate, or if they're actually struggling, can they communicate with you? I think in Nigeria, I don't think I would actually communicate with my teachers if I was struggling academically, but here I think I tend to do that more often.
No.
And the third one, yeah, questions. For me, I split the questions into 2 sections, and that's questions by teachers. Like I said earlier, my chemistry teacher will always like ask a question, or what does this remind you of? Or sometimes maybe she's just asking a question and it's something she expects us to know, and she'll just ask series of questions in such a way you get the answer yourself rather than actually feeding it to you directly. And also at the beginning of each lesson, we always have like this review on a whiteboard of like previous concepts we've learned like during the previous class. So I think that's really helped me like remember, because learning is quite a lot we've got a lot of things to remember. And so at the beginning of every lesson, my teacher would always ask us questions on how much we actually remember during the last lesson. And for the by students, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that in Nigeria, we don't really tend to encourage students to ask a lot of questions, or we tend to discourage them from like asking a lot of questions. If someone asks questions, they're actually mocked, right? And the teachers also like mocking them as well. But here, if you ask a question, your teachers are willing to provide the answers, and if they don't know, they will tell you that, oh, they'll do further research on that, or they'll look into it, something like that. And also engaging and supporting the whole class. Like I said earlier, we tend to focus on just one student in Nigeria. We just want we just tend to like focus on just one student when there are other students as well in the class. Always paying attention or giving your effort to just one student. And the sad part of it all is that we tend to like support the best of the students rather than the weaker students, and I think that's not really good. I think more support should be provided for students who are actually struggling, and not those who are already performing well. And yes, we do a lot of like exercises during the lesson rather than copying notes, because yeah, in Nigeria we tend to like write a lot of notes, and we could write pages and pages of notes without actually knowing what's on there. And here we do a lot of like class work and exercises during the class, and we also use like mnemonics to actually remember, like just to make sure your students can actually recollect what you've taught during the lesson. Also, we do a lot of tests at the end of each topic to ensure that I think basically my chemistry teacher would like always say that the purpose of the test is not to judge you or something like that, but actually to understand what we don't, so she knows where we are actually struggling or what we do not understand, and ways that she can be of help. And I think in Nigeria, tests are basically done to show who's better, I think it's a very competitive environment in Nigeria. We always show you who is the first position and stuff like that. But here, to be honest, I think in Nigeria, when I was schooling in Nigeria, I tend to be very, very concerned about what other people are actually scoring on the test. and how other people perform in relation to me. But yeah, I don't really do that anymore. It's actually focusing on yourself and knowing where you need to improve and how your teacher can be of help to you. Yeah, because I'm doing my A-levels, and A-levels are like tend to test your understanding of the topic. So we spend a lot of time covering just one topic. But like in Nigeria, we could just do a topic for a day and we're on to the next. I think it's quite a rush when we're trying to cover the whole syllabus. So here we tend to spend a lot of time on each topic to ensure that we actually understand, and if we actually given a question, we can use familiar knowledge to answer the question, because the questions sometimes don't come in a familiar manner or the ways they've always been coming before or in previous years. So you might need to apply something to like a totally different scenario to what you understood before. Yes, and lastly, we have like less students in classes, and I think it helps with providing at least like a one-to-one experience with each student, so you know how each student is performing. And yes, and you can actually pinpoint where the student is actually struggling and not performing as well. And the use of inappropriate languages, I think in Nigeria we don't really, teachers could like insult you, and I think there's no big deal there, but I don't think it would be appropriate in like in a UK scenario. And just to wrap up, just to forget about the whole UK and Nigeria comparison, I just brought out this code to like share with everyone by Tupac. Okay. Which says, I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee you I'll spark a brain that would, and I think that's quite interesting. Thank you.
Fantastic, excellent, Mayoress. We are always, proud of the work you do, the way you make your presentation. I did experience you while you were in Nigeria, and I have continued to have conversations with you now that you're in the UK. What I make out of the presentation you have made is that the Nigerian system appears to be too competitive, to be described as an education system. Most of the time, teachers identify one bright student, and that person becomes the friend of every teacher, and that student becomes the yardstick with which other children are judged.
Yeah.
Whereas those of us who are professionals in the industry know that every child has a gift, and then we have different types of intelligence. So if it's not manifesting by way of doing, taking first position in chemistry, it might manifest in music, it might manifest in other forms of art. And so they are all useful. We all need all kinds of people in society to live a very balanced life. So thank you for sharing those ideas with us. And so as we aspire to move into the UK, it's very important that we pay special attention to some of the issues that Mayoress has raised with us at this hour. And I know that when Dr. Catherine Foley comes on stage from the Institute of Education, University of Reading, she will probably stand on that foundation you have laid to guide us through the kind of training they provide teachers that makes it possible for them to operate at the level that you, Mayoress, have described to us this evening.